everyone, and welcome to the Top Cut. I'm Crims, and with me are Michael Pram, Drew Holden, and MIA for now is Mr. Kyle Pooka Sukovic. I've been gone for a week and a half, if you count that show that I was late to, but it's because I am in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm currently staying at the Aria Hotel, and it's actually really cool here. I'm staying here with fellow Pokemon players, Sina Gazi-Askar and Chad Harris. So, yeah, I went to States in Arizona, traveled to States, came back over here. I'm going to be traveling to States as well tomorrow morning to California, so that should be fun. Then obviously I'll be here for Nevada States. But that's enough about me. This is not the Top Crim. This is the Top Cut. And Kyle's back. This is perfect. Perfect timing.
He's not back.
Yes, he is.
He's back.
I see his face. There it is. All right. So, yeah, States just happened last week. For all of you who do not know that, I'm sure it's kind of a buzzkill or whatever. But we had two of us go to States, and two of our flunkies did not. So, Mr. Drew Holden, you did not go to States last week. That's correct?
Nope. I had to work a little later than I thought I was going to, and the tournament started earlier than I thought, so I did not make it. But I kind of hung out some during the day because it's like a 5-minute walk from my house, and I did get top 8 through the finals of videos, so that should be coming up soon. I gave it to Kyle, or I started giving them to Kyle, so for him to do, because I don't have the time, so Kyle should be getting right on that. If you're looking for Ohio State videos, go bother Kyle.
And who ended up winning Ohio State's?
Dustin Zimmerman won in it was a really close game 3. He kind of blew the second game. It was a situation where he has to not make one play, and he does the one thing and he loses.
Oh no.
He moved his whatever Tornadus attack is.
Hurricane?
Yeah, so he hurricaned, and he just has to not put it on the Regigigas EX.
I knew it.
Regigigas EX for the mirror, and he puts it on that. His opponent catches up the Regigigas, double plus power, DCE, Shaman moves all of his energy to Mewtwo, and one-hit KOs Regigigas for 2 prizes.
Oh no.
So, any other move, he wins, but instead it goes to game 3, and he wins a really close game 3. I would say his opponent, Joey Gannon, probably wins that game 75% of the time. What happened was there was an N on the 2, so they both had 2, and Joey Gannon had his Mewtwo. He just needs to top deck an energy in 2 turns, and he whiffs twice. And he probably had 30 cards left in his deck, so Dustin Zimmerman gets pretty lucky after he blows it, and he wins.
I was just thinking when, because I'll be honest, I haven't done very much playtesting for this tournament. Obviously, I've been here in Vegas. And the first thing I noticed after getting a couple of games in was, dude, Mewtwo's just gonna come out and just take random prizes off of Hurricanes all day. Yeah. And sure enough, I must have seen. I mean, it happened. It almost happened to me once, and it happened to a couple of my opponents. And I mean, I can only imagine how many times it's happened so far at the first week of States, let alone week 2 and week 3. That's something a lot of players have to watch out for, because I mean, even the best players in the world are still gonna kind of forget about the random Mewtwo plus power switch thing, and that type of stuff really does happen. It's not even that hard to get.
Yeah, it's not.
All you need is a collector for the Shaman and DCE or something in your hand, and all of a sudden you're doing 200 damage.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, great to know that you actually still went to States, even though you couldn't make it, obviously, and you still got some video footage for us. Kyle, you unfortunately could not go to States, but if you want to just talk a little bit about your experience for this, or at least testing experience for this.
I mean, even though I didn't get to go to a state championship, I did sit at home and collect all the results. Pretty much spent all day doing that. Put together a list of every top 4 from every state across the country, even some from Canada and Mexico, and even one enthusiastic fan from Malaysia. So we got results from all over the place. So if you want to check that out so you can get some info and prepare for week 2, just check out our website. There's a whole article about that. So I guess the biggest thing from that would be that Zekrom Electric was by far the most popular deck, and the deck that did the best. It won the most states. I think it won 9 states, and then it had something like 30 plus top 4 finishes. So obviously that is the most popular deck, and if you go by results, it's the best deck as well. And then not too far behind was the Selby Mewtwo Tornadus deck. And then below that is Durant. And then it's... Well, I guess we'll get into that next deck, which is the Terrakion deck. We'll get onto that later, though.
Alright. I heard last week that you guys were taking bets. I know Pram sent me a random text message in the middle of the show last week saying we're taking bets on what decks are going to be doing well. What did you guys end up saying was going to do well? Because I know I said specifically nine Zekrom Electric decks were going to take states. I did. Pram has the proof.
Yeah, I actually got that. I actually didn't look at the text until after the show, so we did not announce it right away. And then I forgot about it till after the show. But yeah, he did say something along those lines. Actually, let me check my phone.
Along the lines, I said.
I think I said there would be a split between Zekrom Electric and then Selby. I said Durant wouldn't win any.
I actually deleted the text, so I actually have no proof anymore. But he said something close to that. I think my predictions were a little bit along the same lines as Crim's was. I also had it around like 9 Zekrom Electric, and then like 8, something like that.
Too much credit.
And then like 7, 6 or like 5 to 7 Celebes, and then the rest were Durant, which was actually somewhat true for the most part, except for that one Terrakion deck that pulled it all the way and came out of nowhere.
Yeah, what an unfortunate soul that must have lost to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, one thing that I do want to mention before we move on to Pram State's experience is the fact that Kyle was not only updating the website, but he was also updating through our Top Cut page on Twitter, which is at the Top Cut, or at Top Cut Pokemon, I believe. Yeah. And he was just updating random tweets, and please, I can't tell you guys enough how cool that is. Just being able to see who's doing well at these tournaments. I was just checking my Twitter, and sure enough, at Top Cut Pokemon mentions X deck wins X region, X states, and I'm like, whoa, that's actually really cool. So I was trying to update for states as much as I could for as long as I could. And I know that Kyle was doing a great job with doing the at Top Cut Pokemon tweets. So if you guys want to follow at Top Cut Pokemon, at Crims23, at Michael Pramawat, at Pooka311, and at Drew Holden. Do so, especially for these states. Maybe not Drew, because Drew's going to be irrelevant for this state weekend. But the rest of us are going to be tweeting heavily, I'm sure. And yeah, it's just a cool experience, and everybody should be doing the Twitter thing, because I had a lot of fun with it this last weekend. But either way, Pram, how did you do at states?
Well, I started off the day pretty well. I think a lot of our viewers got to watch it. We were streaming live at Virginia States. I was 7-0, so I ended up first seed, and then I went all the way to the finals, where I lost to Current Hill using Terrakion. It was unfortunately the internet kind of cut out, so you guys didn't get to see that, but we will have that video up shortly, so you will be able to experience Terrakion in all its glory. And yeah, but I played Zekrom Electric with one Tyrogue. That was like my little secret tech. I was basically thinking, well, I came to the conclusion that the 30 HP Dynamo was the best one, and I figured if I came to that conclusion so quickly, everyone else would too. So I would play one Tyrogue to counteract that line of thinking, and it ended up being really effective. I won Mirror. I played Mirror like 6 times that day. Well, like 4 times in Swiss, and then 2 more times in top 8 and top 4. And Tyrogue was just like game winner every time. So
yeah, Tyrogue was amazing. I didn't actually play it because, again, I didn't test very much for this tournament, and that can only be my fault. But everybody that played Tyrogue at my states was performing amazingly, because everybody plays the 30 HP Dynamo. It's just the way it is, you know. At this point, with Crim being at an all-time low in popularity, it's just a good play. The Dynamo is actually a good play, the 30 HP one.
yeah.
So the Tyrogue takes advantage of that and gives you at least 1 free prize usually.
Well,
sometimes even more.
There was like I think I played maybe 4+ games where I took like 3 prizes with Tyrogue.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
So what do you think stood out as like one of the most impressive things about that Terrakion deck for you? What really made that deck stand out to you?
The fact that it could just keep going. Like, I was just knocking things out, and then, well, here comes another retaliate, and like, it ran EXP all, so like, even when you deal with one Terrakion, well, there's another Terrakion with an EXP all, so you have to like.
EXP share, by the way.
EXP share.
Yeah.
My mistake.
Not much.
But yeah, EXP share. So then you just, even if you knock out one Terrakion, you have to deal with the Terrakion with the XP share. So like sometimes you had to play it weird where it was more. It was better for you to knock out the Terrakion with EXP share rather than the Terrakion with energy on it. So I honestly don't think the matchup's really that bad for Eels. It's just people were playing it poorly.
And that's expected too, right? Because that's part of the the great part about playing this deck.
Yeah, it was like
nobody expects it.
Everyone just kind of saw it for the first time ever, and they were like, I saw some games where people were trying to be cute and not play down Dynamo, but that just never worked out. And then, Mewtwo's the real. It's really just comes down to Mewtwo versus Terrakion. So it's not a bad matchup, but not. I think Terrakion's a favorite for sure. Also ran like 3 loss removers, so anyone running DCEs just get demolished.
So yeah, I mean, I guess we will get into Terrakion a little bit later on. Not too much for those of you wanting to hear more about that. But I'm glad you did so well. You actually represented the top cut pretty well, I guess. I don't want to really get into mine because it's actually really heartbreaking for me.
Well, I'm sure everyone else is interested in it. So
this is 2 years in a row that I've bombed states. I started off 1-0, and I have nobody to blame but myself for this. And this is actually like almost embarrassing. It's borderline embarrassing to admit, but I messed up really bad. My second match, and I mean, I can blame it on a lack of sleep, the fact that I didn't get a night's sleep or whatever. But at the end of the day, I messed up, so it doesn't actually matter what the excuse is. We get down really, really close in prizes. I think it's 2-2 in prizes, but my second Mewtwo just got knocked out. Now I've got the Super Rod in my hand, and granted, I still have to hit a little bit with the portrait, but I'm only gonna have to hit like 1 energy. It's nothing ridiculous. Like I'm a favorite to actually win this match. I just have a Super Rod, a collector, and my portrait has to hit some sort of a draw supporter on his 10-card hand or 9-card hand or something like that, and the draw supporter has to hit an energy. That's it. So at this point, the judge walks over. I kind of like lose a little bit of focus, but because the time had just gotten called. That's what it was. So he asked us what happened or whose turn it was. So I activate my Pokemon on the turn 0. I activate my Pokemon. I play collector. Oh my God, I haven't played Super Rod yet. What just happened? I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's happened to a lot of people. It's really frustrating. I can't tell you how frustrated I was as a collector. Oh, and if I have the Shaman in my deck and not in the prizes, I don't even have to portrait. Like at that point, I just win. But the Shaman was prized, so I collector, and I can't believe it because I just basically blew this game. So now at this point, I have to Super Rod, put it in my deck, portrait, hope to hit a draw supporter, and hope to hit the Mewtwo. I guess switch energy or something like that. I can't remember. I have to hit a couple cards now instead of just a simple energy, and I whiff. And I try to stall for a turn with the catcher, but he has the double color retreat or something like that. I can't remember, but either way, yeah, I blew game 2. It's really embarrassing, but it happens. And after that, I got a little bit unlucky in 2 other matches, and I ended up the day 5 and 3, missing the cut. So yeah, I mean, I guess it does happen. It's really frustrating, and that just goes to show you, it can happen to anybody, even the greatest theoretical mind. And here I am now, not having a top cut, only getting 1 championship point, and I really needed these championship points too, because I was so low. So now my back's to the wall, and I have to do really well for these next 2 states, or I'm going to be out of contention for Worlds.
Well, you have a possible 30 points left
yeah.
if you win like 2 states in a regionals. That's like 30 points right there. Auto invite. Yeah.
Exactly. Right now I'm only at 19, I believe. So. It's going to be close. It's going to be much harder than I thought I was going to have, or much harder than I thought it was going to be at the beginning of the season. But then, obviously, skipping battle roads and not doing as well as I would have hoped in cities puts me in this position. So that's.
You mentioned you didn't really play Dust that much And I think those kind of like dumb mistakes happen when you aren't as familiar with the game. Like you're just going through the motion and playing games, like gets those stupid things out of your system. So I think that probably had something to do with it. I mean, sure, you probably didn't get much sleep, but that's probably the case for just about everybody. But I think that just shows the value of just like sitting down and actually testing. It lets you get those little kinks out. I mean, even though obviously you know the order you should have done things in, just playing games and doing it a couple times helps you do it in a tournament. So
Absolutely, I completely
That's how
agree.
much sleep I had. This is how much sleep I
Crim,
had.
man.
3
Can't
hours.
help it.
Yeah, I didn't actually sleep much at all. I went back to because I was staying at my friend's house. I was visiting him for the weekend. I went back to his house and I was like, this is not gonna work. So I'll go to Walmart. I buy an air mattress. I come back. I fill the air mattress up and I'm rolling around in bed. I remember looking at the clock. It's 5 a.m. and I'm just rolling around saying this can't be happening again. And I just turn on the computer and I no longer look at the clock. And eventually, I think I fell asleep for at least an hour or so. I did get some sleep, but it was just not a good day. But oh well, those types of things happen. Yeah, the super odd order of operations. I mean, honestly, a monkey could have figured that out. You know, you play super odd, then you play collector. Simple. I can blame it on a bunch of factors, but at the end of the day, this happens to everybody, and I'm not going to sit around and really think about it too hard. I already did that for a whole day, so it's just the way it is. And I got to come back next weekend. This 2 days from now, California State's the biggest states in the country, I'm sure, and see how I do. So we'll see what happens there. And yeah, that's it for our states. We didn't, like I said, only 2 of us went to states this weekend, and obviously, I just explained to you my terrible story about how I blew the top cut, or I blew my chances at the top cut. But Pram did pretty well. He took second place, going undefeated all the way up until that. That's actually really impressive. Only one person per state can actually say they did that. So, and it's cool that we actually got that all on stream. I'm sure that we're gonna try to stream something again this weekend. We're gonna see. It's out of our hands, really. This all has a lot to do with whether there's internet connections available at the locations. But if we can stream, we'll obviously announce it as soon as possible. So for those of you who are not doing anything, stay tuned for that. So yeah, I guess we can take a little bit of a break right now if you guys want to, and then we'll come back and talk about pretty much probably what's on everybody's mind, which is that Terrakion deck and the other decks that seem to be performing pretty well.
All right, we'll be back in a little bit.